Hi, so in this video we are going to learn about angles and the units in which we measure angles. So what is an angle? Angle is nothing but the turn or the change in the direction. Suppose that there is a person who is standing in this point and at present he is actually looking at this direction, in the direction of plus x, and then he turns and now he is looking at this direction, right? Then this turn, that means the change in direction from here till here, is actually called an angle. That means this is actually the angle. This actually tells us about the turn the person has taken. Originally he was looking at this direction and now he is looking in this direction. That means he has taken a turn which actually allows him to change the direction of his view. So this is called the angle. And how do we measure it? We actually measure these angles in degrees, grades and radians. Degrees are also called sexagesimal measurements and grades are called centesimal measurements, and there is one more kind of measurement which is radian. Degrees and grades are actually defined based on the right angles. Suppose a person is looking in this direction. This right angle is actually defined as the position from which, if you want to go into the original direction or to the direction which is exactly opposite to the original direction, the turn which you take in both these cases are equal. So it is actually the midpoint, if we talk in terms of direction, in which you turn to exactly opposite direction. From here you turn to here, then this right angle will come exactly in the middle, right? So in degrees we actually divide this angle, which we call as right angle, into 90 equal parts. So if we divide this right angle into 90 equal parts, each part is called degree, and 90 such parts or 90 degrees actually make one right angle. And after that, each degree is divided into 60 equal parts and each such part is called 1 minute. And if we divide that 1 minute into 60 equal parts, each equal part is called 1 second, and degree is denoted as small circle over the number. Suppose if I want to denote one angle which lies like this angle, this is exactly half of the right angle, then this angle will be denoted as 45 degrees, right? And suppose the angle is 45 degrees and 6 minutes, then 6 minutes will be denoted as number 6 and then single quote over that 6. And seconds, suppose this angle is 45 degrees, 6 minutes and 8 seconds, then second is denoted as double quote over the number. So this angle will be called as 45 degrees, 6 minutes and 8 seconds. So this was degrees, and now let's talk about grades. In grades we actually divide a right angle into 100 equal parts, and after that if we divide each grade into 100 equal parts, each smaller part will be called as 1 minute, and that 1 minute can again be divided into 100 equal parts and each such part will be called as 1 second, right? So the angle which we drew earlier, the angle which is half of the right angle, which we call 45 degrees, in this case will be called as 50 grades. 50 is half of 100 and the grades we write as small g over the number. So 50 grades will be represented as 50 then g. Then minutes and seconds are represented in exactly same way. Suppose again we have 6 minutes, then 6 minutes will be represented as 6 and single quote over the 6, and 8 seconds will be represented as 8 followed by a double quote over the number. So this angle actually represent 50 grades, 6 minutes and 8 seconds. So this is the definition of degrees and grades, or the representation in degrees and grades. The conversion is also very easy. Suppose if you want to convert 60 degrees to grades, how do we convert it? 60 degrees is actually equal to 60 divided by 90 right angles, right? Each right angle has 90 degrees. So first we will convert the 60 degrees into number of right angles. So it will have 60 divided by 90 right angles. Now we want to convert it into grades. So to convert it into grades, we have to multiply this by 100. So it will be 60 divided by 90 multiplied by 100. This will be in grades. And now we have to solve it further. So if we solve it further, the zeros will get cancelled. 3 3s are 9, 3 2s are 6 and 0. So this will be actually 200 by 3 grades, or 3 6 are 18, 3 6 are 18, 2 by 3 grades. So this is how we convert degrees into grades. This was the easy example. After this we are going to take slightly difficult examples based on these conversions. And now let's talk about radians. What is radian? Radian is also one way of measuring angle, but how does it work and what it is? To learn that, we are going to draw a circle. So let me erase all this. So the radian is actually the angle subtended at center by an arc equal to the radius of the circle. So suppose if this is the circle, this is the center O, and this is the radius R. So if I take an arc which is equal to the length of the radius along with this circumference, and suppose this length, this curved length is equal to R, then the angle subtended by this arc at the center, that means this angle, is called 1 radian. And this length of the arc is actually the length along the circumference. It is not the length of the chord. This is not R. This length in white is not R. It is actually the length along the circumference of the circle, right? So now you must be having one question, that this angle may vary, but actually this angle is always a constant. The angle subtended by the radius of the circle at the center of the circle is always a constant. How does it work? See, if we talk about the perimeter of the circle is actually 2 pi r, right? And we also know that the angle subtended by any arc on the perimeter is proportional to the length of the arc. If I call this arc as AB, arc AB, the angle AOB is actually directly proportional to the length of the arc AB. From here we can say that angle AOB will be equal to K times R. Why R? Because the length of arc AB is equal to the radius of the circle, right? And now let me call it as equation number 1. And now if I take this point and call it as P, angle POB is actually a right angle, and this will be equal to some K times 1/4 of the perimeter, because this quadrant actually represents the 1/4 of the circle. So the length of the arc PB will actually be the 1/4 of the perimeter of the circle. So it will be K times 1/4 perimeter of the circle, that is 2 pi r, right? Or angle POB will be equal to some K times pi r by 2. And now let me call it as equation number 2. Right? And if I do equation number 1 by equation number 2, we are going to get the ratio of angle AOB, which is the angle subtended by the arc equal to the radius of the circle, to a right angle, because angle POB is actually a right angle. So angle AOB divided by angle POB will be equal to KR divided by K pi r by 2. This K will cancel this K, this R will cancel this R, and we are going to get 2 by pi over here. So the ratio of the angle subtended by the radius on the center of the circle to the right angle, which is POB over here, is equal to 2 by pi, where 2 is a constant and pi is also a constant, right? That means the angle subtended by the radius of a circle to the center is actually equal to 2 by pi times the right angle, that is angle POB. This actually proves that the angle subtended by the radius to the center of the circle is always a constant, and that angle is actually called as radian. That means whatever radius you take, the angle subtended by the radius to the center of the circle is always going to be a constant, and this is named as 1 radian. So here we have got 1 radian is actually equal to 2 by pi times right angle. 1 radian is 2 by pi times right angle. So the value of right angle in radians is actually pi by 2. The value of right angle in terms of radians is pi by 2, which is equal to 90 degrees. So if 90 degrees is equal to pi by 2, then 180 degrees will be the double of pi by 2, that means pi, and the value of 360 degrees will be actually 2 pi. So this is the relation between degrees and the radians, and this can be used while solving the problems when the angles are given in radians. And this is also called the circular measurement. So radians are also called circular measurements. So this is all about the measurements of the angles and the units which we use to measure the angles. So in next few videos we are going to talk about the conversion from degrees to grades or degrees to radians and vice versa. So keep watching Math Smart and bye bye till then.